Hello everyone, this is Andrew of the Whack Kid 47 Network, and I have the privilege to be here with Craig Campbell of Nerdburger Games and Murders and Acquisitions, your amazing invention of a game. Sir, how are you doing?
Pretty good. I don't know how amazing it is, but it's on Kickstarter, it's funded, it's 2 stretch goals in, it's doing well.
So, for those of you that are watching this and are wondering what is going on, could you tell them what this is? I feel like it's the Grand Theft Auto, as my brother says, a Grand Theft Auto Office Edition.
I've heard it described that way for by a few people. Yeah, it's a tabletop role-playing game of subterfuge, espionage, theft, intrigue, and murder in an absurd corporate world where everything's a little more over the top, a little more cutthroat. Things get a little crazy. People are literally backstabbing their way to the corner office. You know, take no prisoners, cutthroat kind of world. That's the core game, and that's funded. And then there are stretch goals that are unlocking additional chapters that will allow you to add all of those wonderful, fantastic elements that everybody loves in their RPGs. So the first 2 are unlocked, and that puts magic and monsters in the game, so you can play kind of D&D in an office. Okay. Or a variation of that. Right. The third one that we're working on right now is to put near future tech into the game. So you could also have cyber tech, nanotech, ninja bots, fun stuff like that. And then the next 2 after that are cosmic horror. So lots of Cthulhu-esque horrible monsters from beyond the edges of our reality, cults, insanity, dark magic. And then the final chapter is fittingly the apocalypse. So you can bring your game to a close with a viral apocalypse, or with an environmental apocalypse, or
the apocalypse.
A variety of apocalypses. Yes, I had to learn the plural of apocalypse.
I didn't know you can have multiple apocalypses.
Apocalypses.
Apocalypses. Sorry.
So, go ahead.
Okay. So, what was your idea in making this game? Like, how did you come to the idea to make this fusion that is?
Well, it actually started, the original nugget started with my friend Matthew. He described what he kind of thought of as a board game, where you would work your way up levels of across the board. You would be working your way up levels, up floors in the office building, and until you get to the top in the corner offices and everything. Now, I've done a bunch of RPG design for Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder and Iron Kingdoms and so forth. And my RPG design brain turned it into a role-playing game, and so I set out and started kind of laying out the basics of it for over the course of a month or 2. Play tested with some friends. It seemed to be doing okay. I tweaked it, took it to a local con, play tested with strangers. It started to gain traction, and that all started about 2.5 years ago. And so now we are, about a year ago, I got a web page going. I got artwork underway, graphic design, the cover. A lot of work, to kind of to be able to get to the point of what we're at now, which is a Kickstarter and actually publishing the game. So the great thing to note about this is that everything is done. Everything is written. It has been edited. It is in layout. I know for a fact that the layout guy was working on it last night. I expect I'll probably have questions coming to me later this weekend about layout stuff. So this is going to be a Kickstarter that's going to turn over fairly quickly. Artwork's going to come in. The artists know they've got a quick turnaround. Everybody knows deadlines are tight. We're going to get this thing cranked out by the end of the year.
Right. So if people are new to the whole RPG things, how would you convince them to come play Murders and Acquisitions?
Well, if you're new to if they're new to RPGs in general,
yeah, just RPGs in general.
In general, the way I describe RPGs always is it's cooperative storytelling. So instead of sitting down and watching a movie or reading a comic or a book where everything's dictated for you, you portray a character and other people at the table portray a character, and you decide what your character does, and then there's somebody at the table that's called the game master or the storyteller or whatever, and they take care of everything else. They set the world, they present challenges, they describe all the other characters. And it's less about winning the game, although there are certainly winning moments where you succeed at things, but failure can be fun too. It's all about telling an entertaining story. This game, Murders and Acquisitions, is a light enough game set in just a slight tweak of our real world, so it's easily grasped by people who maybe aren't even that familiar with D&D or those other types of games. there's a lot of RPGs can get very dense on setting.
Yeah.
Where this is just like, okay, it's like our world, but it's crazy. And you can you add in the other complexities and everything's fine. The beauty of this, I've had people point this out to me a couple of times, so I'm co-opting other people's words.
Right.
Which is, this is a game where you can pretend to beat up your boss or kill your boss or, get your boss indicted or destroyed. And unlike in the real world, you'd have to go out and actually find a new job the next day or end up in jail. So it's a little bit of fantasy wish fulfillment as well.
So if you want to rage on your boss, this is the game to do it. Because we don't want to see you in jail for something you could have done on this game that you could help kickstart right now. So, how, on Kickstarter right now, what are the perks that people can get if they donate certain levels?
Oh, the backer levels. We'll get to you guys. Backer levels, for $15, you get the entire book, and it's about this thick, plus about 15 pages, because artwork needs to be added. If that's assuming all the stretch goals are hit, and I'm very confident they will be. $15 gets you a PDF of that book, plus PDFs of a series of support materials. There's adventures and quick rule one sheets and some GM screens and some things that'll help you play the game. Although everything you really need to play the game is in the book. That's all just added bonus material. For $20, you get all of that, and you also get a code that you can take to drivethrurpg.com and order yourself a hardcover or a softcover physical book at cost to be printed and shipped. And what that means is that nobody gets any profit. They will print it for exactly the money it takes to print the book, and they'll ship it for a standard, basic shipping rate. A soft cover, printed and shipped, is about $10 total. So you're paying $20 now plus $10 later for a soft cover. Hardcover is $5 more than that, so $35 for the whole deal. Now, a hardcover book for $35 plus the support materials and everything in PDF form, so you have it for a tablet or whatever. A pretty solid deal, and it's cheaper than it's going to be when it becomes available to the public down the road.
Yeah. So where
there's a couple other backer levels that are higher than that. Those all got filled up in the first week or so. Take a look on the Kickstarter page. If somebody drops out of one of them, you might be able to snag it. But
do it.
They're full right now.
Yeah, they're all full. I tried to donate at $80 level, but I couldn't.
All full.
They're all full, but it happens. I donated though. So another question: how many people? How long would it take to play a whole round? What is the player range? I mean, obviously age range.
Ideally, it kind of depends on how weird and gritty and over the top you want to get. If the player, I've run last year at MomoCon, I ran with 10 and 12-year-old kids with their mom at the table, who are very familiar with video games. And I even asked her at one point, how graphic can I get in describing? They said they play video games all the time. Go to town. And I recall very specifically the young lady making it clear to me that she wasn't just knocking out the bad guy; she was putting the weapon through him.
Ooh.
So you can go young. Obviously, all ages up above beyond that. What was the rest?
Player range and how long would it take to do a whole?
A game session. I've run a complete story in 2 hours. Just depends on how tight you make the story. 1 hour, I do demos for 1 hour. That's enough to give you a taste of it, but it doesn't really get you a complete beginning, middle, and end to a story. Most games 3 to 4 hours. Like a 4 hour is a pretty standard session, but I've run 2-hour games. The dice system keeps things moving pretty quickly, so you can get to the narrative faster. Yeah. And you can tell a story in 2 hours.
Right. Now, I'm new to the whole dice RPG D&D. So, if you haven't already, we are doing a 1 hour live demo of this game. Link should be somewhere within my face or his face or the screen or in the description. It's here, there, over there. Anyways, we will also, if you haven't already, watch the Twitch stream of this as well. We're streaming this live. So that will give you a taste of what's going on. So we're not going to show off way too much here. but we will tomorrow.
Check it out.
Or whenever we can. So is there anything else you want to say? Anything else you just want to get out there? Any other stuff?
Yeah, a couple of things. First, I'd like to thank all the backers so far, yourself included. We've had a great response. We hit the funding goal in 2.5 days. We hit stretch goals pretty quickly. We're a little over halfway. We're well on our way to hitting all of the stretch goals. I'd like to give a thank you to, there's a lot of people that contributed to this. There's artists and editors and people doing layout and all sorts of graphic work. This is not just me. This is a lot of other people that have put their time into it, and they deserve recognition for that. And you can see the full list of them. They're listed on the Kickstarter page. You can also go to nerdburgergames.com, where I blog about this occasionally. Every so often I talk about the next game that's coming, which is just barely, and it's a baby game right now. It's a tiny little baby game. I've play tested it one time, but that'll be coming up down the road once this kind of gets taken care of.
Okay. Well, Craig Campbell, thank you so much. Thank you. Guys, check it out. Murders and Acquisitions is on Kickstarter right now. Go fund it. If you're watching this way in the future, then it should be in public stores. But again, this is Andrew the White Kid 47 Network. This has been Craig Campbell with Murders and Acquisitions. We'll hope to see you later, guys. Take it easy.